We in the office.
Just say it how you feel.
Facts.
Say it how you feel.
Oh! We in the office. Oh!
Welcome back to Say It How You Feel. And today we got some shit, man. Today it's gonna be buckle up, goddamn it, because we're going deep. One of us might burst into flames through this, one of us might get struck by lightning, but it's gonna be some hot topics today. As you know, I'm Mo.
I'm saying.
And again, this is Say It How You Feel. And today we are about to talk some blasphemous shit.
Yes, we are. I wouldn't even say that. I think we're just gonna hit on some key points.
You know,
We need answers, goddamn it. That's all. We need
That's all.
answers.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
You know.
So I want to start this episode off by saying, just to everyone listening, for one, I do apologize if I sound congested. It is that time of the year, right? I wonder why that happens. And two, I want to say, I personally am a very spiritual person, right? Pick up on energy. I pick up on a lot of different things that make up my spirituality. But one thing that I've over the years that I've realized is that when it comes to Christianity, and it comes to unfortunately sometimes the people who follow Christianity feel like sometimes they're more mean and evil-hearted than others, right? Not all, but many of them, and it never really made sense to me. I wouldn't say it drove me away from sticking to exactly what the Bible says, but it did make me question a lot of things. And here we are today. So we're going to talk about all that. But I'm a very spiritual person. I do believe in God. However, there's some things that are very unclear to me, and the Bible is not the answer. Let me say that. And I'm damn sure going to a church is not the answer either. But we're gonna get into it.
And I'm also gonna apologize. Like you said, this time of year, these allergies is whooping my ass. The past like 48 hours, I've just been catching a beating from pollen. So if I sound a little bit congested, and you hear me over here making all these noises, that's what that is. But also, I am I would say I'm a spiritual person. You know, I believe in not necessarily a God, but a higher power. You know, and this whole Christianity thing, some of the most wicked crimes ever committed on this earth were in the name of Christianity. You know, so it's kind of hard for me to get behind that. You know, but I was raised in the church. I done saw a lot of hatred in the church, a lot of jealousy in the church, and just because you go to church don't make you a good person. You know,
Thanks.
just because you know the Bible front to back don't make you a good person. You know who else know the Bible front to back, word for word, verbatim?
Devil.
The devil.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's go ahead. Let's hop into this shit, man. Let's get to cooking.
All right. So listen, first thing I want to talk about, I've been doing research on it for a while now, and it was thanks to you for putting me on. But I've been doing research and the connection between ancient civilizations and what they consider in science advanced civilizations. So as you know, there's hunter-gatherers, more like cavemen, type of civilizations, and then there's advanced civilizations. The earliest that we can date that is kind of intact is Mesopotamia, right? And they talk about like these big figures, these giant people, and so on and so forth. Then we'll go to Egypt, and then of course the Olmecs, the Mayans, and Aztecs, and a whole bunch of other civilizations. But the reason why I bring that up, right, and I feel like it's a good starting point there, is because there's so much there that we do not understand, right? Of how did this world really come to be? We understand that there's certain things in Egypt that we still can't recreate, such as the pyramids,
Mhm.
or no good understanding of how they had certain tools to carve into stone to create some of the beautiful artwork that they have. So many mysteries lying in Egypt alone when it comes to that. Right. Same thing with Mesopotamia. Like, how did they learn this? How did they develop this? How did they break this down? Where did this come from? So let's go to the Bible. So now we go from ancient civilizations to the Bible. And in the Bible, there is many different interpretations of it, right? But they talk about the fallen angels and how they came to earth, right? Or they fell down from the sky, and they were like devils, right? Now considered like devils. And they taught humanity what we know as science, right? That is the part that's kind of confusing to me, because Judaism talks about it. I believe even Islam talks about it. Like it's in the Bible, it's in their Bible, right? And they talk about what these fallen angels did to humanity. And it's kind of interesting. And here we are. And now, we're going on with everything else that's going on in the world. It's interesting. This is
My
my first take.
my thing about those ancient civilizations and depicting giants, a lot of people try to say, well, that's just the way they depicted important people, just bigger than everybody else. But they didn't, when it comes to that aspect of things, they also depicted other things, the way they were. Like if they were drawing a cow, cow looked like a cow. If they was drawing a bird, bird looked like a fucking bird. So
Right.
the fact that like, they made these kings or
Mm-hmm.
these, so-called gods to be bigger than normal people. I don't think it was an ego thing, man. I don't think they did that just I think they did it because the people was really bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Right.
were literal giants. Also, they have I forgot what the shit was called, but they have a list of the kings and how long their reign was. And
Yes.
some of these kings reigned for, over 10,000 years, you
Yeah.
know? So it's just, I don't know, man. There are a lot of mysteries and a lot of things that I feel like we have discovered that has been hidden. Underneath the damn Vatican, bro, there are miles and miles and miles and miles of fucking archives and different artifacts that we'll never see.
Yeah. So one thing about the Vatican, I used to live in Italy, right? Is when you go to the Vatican, they have people hidden in the crowd, amongst everybody, making sure you don't take photos. Like to capture a photo in the Vatican is insane. You know what I'm saying? I know one guy that did it didn't get caught, but even in the photo, you can tell he's scared shitless, right? But I'm telling you, the moment you try to whip out your phone, they're on it, smacking your hand, telling, you can't do that here. I
They
believe it.
say
Trust me.
the highest population of devil worshippers, like quote unquote Satanists,
Yep.
is in the Vatican.
Is in Rome. Yeah, I
In
told you
Rome.
that. I think it was like
Yeah.
at the time it was like 257 something cults. But if you look it up, it is true. Like the highest rate for devil worshippers is in Rome. I wouldn't say in the Vatican, but
Vatican City, around
Vatican.
there.
Yes,
But if
exactly.
have you ever seen like different pictures of the Vatican, bro? Like
I have.
it's real like satanic, in some
Yeah,
spots, bro. Like what the fuck, snakes and shit. Like
yeah. I see. Oh, yeah. I was watching that too. I was looking at the They had an interview on it. I think it was on Joe
yeah,
Rogan's
that
podcast.
was Eddie Bravo was talking about that shit.
Yeah, and you could tell he's passionate about it by the way he's going into depth. Like he
Mm-hmm.
is at one point like, shh, calm down, Eddie, calm down. He was just like, bro, what the fuck? Like this don't make no sense, but he's right. Look at it. And that's the thing, right? So if you look at artwork, and we talked about this last time too, everything when it comes to artwork is intentional. You understand that, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's art. It's put there for a reason. Think about anything that we do or say, right? We leave it in there for a reason, right? It's the same concept. So that people may want to think like, oh, back then they had these interpretations of bigger people because they were kings and stuff. And I'm like, let's think about that for a second. Would you just draw what you see, or are you going to try to give this massive interpretation with no key left behind as to that's how you interpret things?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's what it was at all, actually. Look at cave paintings. They
Yeah.
draw what they saw.
What they see. Yeah.
That's right. No different. So that's my biggest take on it. So the Bible, the issue with the Bible per se for me is that how do we know what we're getting? How do we know what really happened?
My issue with the Bible is the fact of like there have been so many different interpretations, even over
Right,
the past like 40, 50 years, that
right.
things words have been changed around and shit. It's just like that's just it
Let's
the Bible thing is such a sore spot for me. I saw a theory that said that William Shakespeare is actually King James.
who knows?
Yep.
Who knows? But what I can assure you is this: when you take away, I used to have this guy I used to go to get it, my barber, man. We used to chill, we used to chop it up. And he used to always emphasize this, and I always used to be like, yo, he's right. When you take away a name from someone, let's say you change Jesus's name or
Hmm.
you change one of the disciples' names, what effect does that have? Right? When you take away a person's name and then give them another name, right?
Hmm.
And then continue to do that throughout history. It's like, you're not really giving us the truth, and then it's contorted, and then you're taking books out, and then you're putting books in, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like, what is the truth? And don't even get me started on the church, but that's the problem when it comes to this. So I like to reference the Bible because everything has truth to it, right? And I do feel like a lot of what they're saying is true. But like I told you before, when we said this shit a couple weeks ago, I do not think the interpretation, I don't think when they wrote the Bible, it had that heavy interpretation the way people put it today. I think it was written the way things really happen, and then over time people changed it. I used to ask all the time, who wrote the Bible? My dad used to always tell me, well, God gave man the power. Yes, yeah, I get that, and I understand the concept of where he's coming from. But at the same time, what is the truth, and who wrote these truths?
And no matter what the truth is, the way the truth was used
Hmm.
is that's the biggest thing to me. It's just that, like, the Christianity has been used to commit some of the most heinous crimes throughout human history. You think about the Christian Crusades, you think about the KKK. The KKK is a Christian organization. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You think about, the way Christianity was used throughout slavery.
Hmm.
You think about, how I think even Hitler was a Christian, right?
I do not know.
I'm
Nor can
pretty
I
sure that's part of the reason why he hated Jews so much. So
research
it's just
department.
it's shit like that you talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, and how God has all the power to do this, that, and the third. If it was as real as the Bible says it is, why did the Holocaust happen? Why was slavery allowed to go on for 400 years? You know what I'm saying? I just hate
Hmm.
how one with all this power can pick and choose when the fuck they want to use the power the way they want to. It's just like the shit. Certain elements just don't add up to me. They really don't. I am not a fan of the one God theory. I feel like God is consciousness. We all got a piece of God in us.
Yes, we
We
do.
all could be gods. But the gods of the day, the gods that they were talking about, even through, you look at Greece, you look at the
Hmm.
Aztecs, you look at even over in China, different all these different regions had their own gods, and I think the gods were the ones that were bringing them the knowledge.
So I do believe that. I do, because, and then I'm gonna get to that too, going back to those ancient civilizations. But for one, they're saying right now that it's a debate for Hitler's religious beliefs.
Okay.
Then they're yeah, so that's up in arms right there. Two, I know you were talking about him picking and choosing, right? And how some of the most heinous crimes have been used. Christianity has been the backing point. I never understood. It was so weird to me, like how you can hate so much, like you can hate a creation of God's, but say that you're religious. It doesn't make any sense.
Makes no
It's the
sense.
biggest contradiction. You go to church on Sunday, and then at 4 in the afternoon you're lynching somebody. You know what I'm saying? Or 2 in the afternoon you're lynching somebody, and it's like a gathering event. How is that godly by any means? It doesn't make any sense, bro.
Or
And,
you go to church and look down your nose at somebody because they didn't come in here dressed to impress. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, that's not the church is not a fucking fashion show. We're not here to pull out our best Sunday threads. Like, we here, to praise the Lord, right? That's what we're supposed to be here. We supposed to be here to
Exactly.
worship, right? So why the fuck does it matter if I come in here in sweatpants or jeans?
That's right.
I'm here, bitch.
And being here alone, and then who's delivering the word is the next part. I'm not judging. Like, I'm not saying, listen, we're all human, right? And what is human? I'm not going to go on a rabbit hole, but what is human? But we're all human. And I will say this: I'm not judging anybody, but the people who, they always say, the people who deliver the word definitely, definitely are going to be held to a higher
A
standard
higher
than everybody
standard.
else. That's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
And look at the shit that they be doing. Don't even get me started on Joel. Right, Joel. Joel is a special guy, right? Special dude, man. I heard about all the horrible things that have been happening, and how, turn a blind eye, just turns a blind eye. All the money they make, they can really do some good.
Hell yeah, nigga. You don't remember me and Willie used to laugh about this shit all the time. He he showed me this video, dog, where but he said it's a lot of envy, a lot of hatred as to why I need a private jet. You know, why I need a private jet. This is for me to deliver the word. So I bought my private jet cash. And when I caught this envy, when I caught this hatred, I went and bought another one.
Oh
Cash.
God.
Like, bro, this preacher was real life fucking flexing. And I look at, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that just take advantage of
That's right.
the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same thing when you talk about the Catholics, Catholic Church. It's like, yeah, they take advantage of the fact that, they're the father and, you trust them with your kids.
That's true.
I was so many
Yeah.
different times I'd have seen different my wife, she is a documentary head, you know what I'm saying? She watches all kind of documentaries all the time. And she was watching some shit this one time about I think it wasn't a coven, but it was more like a school for children with disabilities. And people, kids that were mute, kids who were deaf,
Oh
kids
God.
who couldn't see. And there was a priest here that was molesting these kids that were mute because they couldn't talk about it. If that is not some of the most devilish shit,
Oh my God.
you talk about sickness, man, sickness. You put these people in these higher positions of authority and, look at them as though they are the main servants and they deliver the word of God. God speaks directly through them. And then he fuck your kid. Or he
Come
take
on,
your
man.
mortgage. You know what I'm saying? He living in a multi-million-dollar home and you got to ride the bus to get to where he at so he can talk to you. Make that make sense.
It doesn't, bro. It doesn't. It absolutely does not make any type of sense. And that's the point, And I know there's gonna be people here that are listening that are gonna be very, 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 very upset.
Fuck 'em.
But make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? You know how disturbing that is? You know how many serial killers actually have used Christianity as their backing point or
Yeah,
as
man.
their it's come on, man. It's sick, bro.
I was thinking about becoming a preacher at one point in time. Like I was real life dead ass considering it for
I
all the
remember.
wrong reasons. For all
Yeah.
the wrong reasons.
I remember you used to joke about that shit. He's like, yo, as soon as I get on, I'm gonna let my hair grow. I'm gonna have my pinky nail grow out, and I'm gonna wear a red suit with a chain looking like Cat Williams, and I'm going to be a preacher. And I was like, you sound like a pimp, nigga.
what is a preacher though?
That's right.
Essentially, it's a
It's
pimp
just
for God.
that's it.
It's
If you
a
think
pimp
about
for
it,
God. Hey. This Johnson Teddy's bouncing in the front row. Hey. Send a servant plate around one more time, goddamn. Send a collection plate. That's all y'all got for the Lord?
oh God, you fucking ridiculous, bro.
I'm just saying, bro. Like I was gonna do it for all the wrong reasons, but my consciousness, my inner God, told me you're better than that.
Mm.
You're better than that. Why would you be a predator and
Mm.
prey on people in that way?
Mm. And not all of them do. Not all of them do.
Not all do. Not all
But
do.
85 to 90% of these
I
motherfuckers,
wouldn't even say.
yes.
I wouldn't even say 85 to 90. I would just say the majority. There's always an ulterior motive. That's a lot of people because I know some real honest people who are super religious. They believe in their God. I'm not knocking your faith. I'm not knocking for what you believe because everybody needs something to believe in at the end of the day.
True.
We all got something to believe in. I don't give a fuck if you worship a fucking spaghetti monster. That if that's what you decide to do, as long as you're a good person on top of that, you're not speaking no ill will, no hatred, you're more positive. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. But the minute you start looking down your nose and judging me because I don't believe what you believe, that's
right.
where we got a problem. And that's where I'm gonna start getting real blasphemous on your ass, talking shit like I'm talking today.
Nah, I feel you. I agree. Listen, I don't know, man. One thing I can say is that even in the Bible, many different Bibles, it states that the hearts, the laws of man are written, or the laws of God are written on man's heart, right? If I'm re-paraphrasing, please excuse me. But what does that mean? That means like right from wrong. Things you're not supposed to do. And I think I even told a story one time where my dad. So I reiterated, right? Even there's there's this village in the middle of nowhere. It's like a jungle in Africa. and he said they were doing like some type of Natural Geographic or history discovery documentary there, and in the middle of recording or something like that, um, this guy comes running out and he's yelling, and he has like a machete in his hand and he's screaming, and they're like, "What's going on?" The guy's asking for interpretation. He's like, "Well, this man slept with this man's wife," right? So it sounds crazy because the dude is tripping. But the funniest thing is like my dad was like, "Damn, that's crazy. How did he know that that's wrong? How did, they don't really they're not considered a advanced civilization, right? They're considered like hunter gatherers. How did he realize, or how do they know that that's wrong, right? That's morally wrong. Like you don't steal, you don't kill, you don't do these things. How do you know that's morally wrong? It's something that it goes against your entire being. You know what I'm saying? So when you say that God is inside of you, absolutely. And there's some who their moral compass is completely way off, right? And they justify what they do through their own means. And those we like to consider sociopaths.
But that is also, that do what thou wilt type attitude. I think the biggest thing about human nature, and we're gonna quote Devil's Advocate on this one. When you talk about the Bible, you talk about what God did. He set the rule book to go against all of your natural instincts as man. Can't lust. It's just something you can't control. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the self love. To be vanity. To love yourself more than you love anything else. That's a sin. It's different little sins that go against your natural instincts. So you give these natural inclinations and then set the rule book in complete opposition of what the fuck your natural instincts are to do. And it takes a lot of self-control not to do some things, but at the same time, there's other things that are inherently wrong. You feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You could feel it that it's wrong. Of course it's wrong to kill, but is it always wrong to kill?
If you're killing for a just reason, right? What is a just reason? How many times in the Bible it says, some people just have to die. Like this person has
Has
to
to
be killed,
die.
right?
Yeah.
So,
And some people deserve to die. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. you know, that's it's
yo,
just
where have I heard that? Where the have I heard that shit from, bro?
that's
Oh my
from
god.
oh
Oh my
damn, what's the
god.
name of that movie? Oh fuck, it's Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah,
Fuck,
it's
what's the name of that
okay.
movie?
Don't tell me it's Pulp Fiction.
No, it ain't Pulp Fiction.
Oh shit.
Fuck, research department.
Oh my god.
That movie
I,
was a really good fucking movie, by the way. But
oh
we'll
my,
talk about that another day because we got something lined up for that.
yeah.
Um,
My bad, bro. Threw you off the whole train of thought.
A Time to Kill. A Time to Kill.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, got you.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Really good movie. Really good
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
You guys should check it out.
Anyway,
But anyways, yeah,
yeah.
some it is anything is justifiable if you really want it to be.
Hmm.
And I feel like the guys of Christianity, the way they spread their message was under that same thing. Like some people had to die for my God to reign supreme. Crazy.
Look how many wars have been fought over it.
Yeah.
It's insane. Instead of this has been an issue since the beginning of time. If you really think about it, it's been an issue. Oh, you're different than me. We have to fight. We have to kill each other. Say no different than now. Oh, you're different than me. We have to fight. We have to go to war, or we have to ban you from our country.
Yep.
Mm,
Or you're less than just because you're different,
that's right.
Just because you're different, you're not as human as I am.
Which doesn't make any type of sense.
It makes no type of sense.
I don't know. But I will say this, right? Let's go back to another thing I want to touch on with this particular episode is technology, right? Or the science that came from these fallen angels or these aliens or whatever you want to call them, right? They gave us a lot of tools, a lot of like one of the craziest things, bro. I'm still like fucking baffled. Have you watched Moon Knight on Disney Plus?
You know what's funny? Like legit, like what's crazy
Uh-huh.
is right now, Moonlight is on pause on my TV.
Okay, we're about to. There we go. Here we go.
Like
Connection.
it's on pause right now. Like he just found spoiler
You,
alert, he just found Alexander the Great and
yes.
dude put two in his chest and he's laying
Yes.
in the water. That's where we are right now.
Okay. Beautiful. Perfect. So I can talk about it. All right. Do you know what's fucking crazy about that whole entire show? Right before he gets to that point, I was like, embalming. How like an ancient civilization covered in sand and dirt at all times. How the fuck were they able to embalm somebody back then perfectly? Like, who teaches you this shit? That's the kind of shit that they're saying that these fallen angels taught them. Nobody ever thought about that? Mummification. Do you understand understand the process and how you have to think and be advanced to mummify somebody? Or am I bugging?
No, that's real shit, bro. Like, who would have thought to pull the brain out through the nose? Like, what the fuck?
Right? Who would have thought about removing your organs and keeping your body intact? Come on, bro. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Where does that come from? And then to do it and it be perfect.
Yeah, not a piece left behind.
I don't understand that.
Well, that's I think stepping back into this thing about, technology and, Atlantis, right? Atlantis is, that they say that's where all the knowledge came from. Atlantis was that was the one point right there. Was like you think about Thoth, he came from Atlantis, the Emerald Tablets.
Mm-hmm.
All of this knowledge and all of this technology originated in Atlantis and then spread through the mystery teachings, the mystery schools, to these different civilizations. Because if you notice, a lot of civilizations are tied together, but they are, one, thousands of years apart, two, they are thousands of miles apart
Facts.
at a time where we are told that nobody was traveling across the ocean, that nobody had the
Facts.
power of flight. It's
Mm-hmm.
just there's so many lies, so much deception behind the guise of religion,
Facts.
and that's like that's again, like it's not that it's not that I think less of people because of their religious beliefs, but I just feel like, bro, like you've been lied to so much through religion. How much shit has been hid because of your religion?
Mm-hmm.
How many things did you miss out on as a kid because of religion? Motherfucker tried to tell me Pokemon was the devil, bro. Harry Potter was the devil. You remember me talking about that shit?
I do. I do.
If I had a just really believe that shit, how much dope ass shit would I had missed out on as a kid just because somebody told me it was evil because it was against
Right.
God. You get
Right.
mad. Like, shut the fuck. Like, this shit is crazy, bro. This shit is crazy. This Christian, like, I keep honing back in on Christianity because I don't know Judaism. I'm not Muslim, so I don't know how those religions and how strict they are. I know that being a Muslim is like a real, like, once you in, you in, you know. But it's just like
They
it's
have their fair share of bloodbaths too, though.
oh yeah,
Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do.
every religion does,
They do.
every religion does. Even when you think about going to Greece, they had
Yeah.
wars and bloodbaths between their gods.
Yes.
You know,
Greeks and Romans.
so it's
Yeah.
just it's so much, man. Religion,
Here's
bro.
here's something I want to touch on too, because although there's lies, there's also truth, right? And the truth, if you dig and you look, you shall find. So you
And the
made a
truth
very
shall
good
set
point.
you free.
Yes, it shall. You made a very good point though, right? You was like, yo, there's so many things happening where where the truth is not coming out there and it's unexplained, right? Great example is that they say scientists and that's another thing too with the scientific community, like they don't like to admit when they're wrong, which I'm realizing that the
Mhm.
scientific community currently was stating, I did my research on this, that there was no advanced civilization, or there was no type of civilization or life beyond, what was it, 3,000 years ago, right? That's the earliest they can get signs of life, like human life at least, right? Animals and dinosaurs and other shit like that, cool. So I think it was and there was another big issue was that they also said that the Americas was uninhabited during this time, right? So the first thing that was crazy was that they did some type of they were digging and they found a body, right, with a person who has the same DNA and genetic makeup as those that come from Australia, right? This is in the Americas. So the first question is, how the fuck did he get here, right? And two, when it was buried there, right? When it was buried there was during a time where there was no way for it to travel to get there. Meaning that they couldn't fly. Well, to our knowledge, couldn't fly or couldn't sail. Right? It was impossible for them to have any type of technology to sail or fly. So how did those type of remains end up right in the US?
Mm.
Makes no sense. That was the first question. I was like, damn, that's interesting. You can't dispute that. This is in front of you. Like this must be, and they'll have a million different explanations, but none of them make sense. The second thing that I thought was really crazy is that so they're saying 3,000 years, boom, right? There's no in the US again, there's no there was no type of civilizations here before that time. So I think they were doing like a digging excavation in San Diego, and they ended up finding this huge mammoth bone, right? And in the process of doing that, they started doing research, and they realized that the inside of the bone, that marrow was removed, meaning that the bone was cracked and the marrow was removed, right? So after I think 7 years of research and going back and forth, they finally came to the determination that there's no other type of species on the planet that can do that other than a.
Humane.
There you go. So that means that predates that evidence right there would predate going back 13,000 years, which means that for 10,000 years we're missing history of human civilization in the Americas alone.
Mm. And just imagine every place else on the planet.
Facts.
You
And
know,
what else was going on?
it's just it's so much, bro. So much that we don't know. So much that is hidden. You know, so much that has been purposefully kept from us. You know, it's the same thing with the whole extraterrestrial conversation. I feel like the
Yes,
main reason why, nobody will admit that extraterrestrials are real, that we have been visited, or why religion, for one, won't admit it, is because if that happens, now you have to explain it. How come they're not in the Bible? Okay, so now you have to really rework everything that you've been teaching for all this time, you know?
but they are. You know what's funny? It's been in our face since the beginning of time. It's
Yeah.
been in our face. It's on the Egyptian walls, Mesopotamia. It's on their stone carvings. It's in the Bible, right? When they talk about fallen angels and they talk about how angels look and what they
The
look like.
regular angels, any type of uh out out of body experience, talking to the burning bush, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Shit like that. Like that's we talking about different levels of consciousness. We talking about something that has a different meaning than what is interpreted. Religion is it's a sore spot.
I agree. I mean, but it's there. You go back to the Renaissance and the artwork. Everything is there. It's in your face.
Yep.
Everything is in your face. It's like that whole Da Vinci Code shit. It's like that's what I feel like we're doing with aliens at this point. But I mean, it's kind of already proven. Like you can't really at this point they can't stop it because everybody has a cell phone. They
Yeah.
can now what they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to counteract it with other bullshit like, oh, it's a space launch we're doing here, or it's this, or it's that, or we're doing testing. But
Yeah. I think before they admit that there are extraterrestrials, they're gonna take credit for it and say, well, this is our new technology that we working on. Because it's a whole bunch of shit that we don't again, there's so much stuff that's being hidden, so many black sites, so many different projects with trillions of dollars of going missing from our government alone that has no explanation for it. You know what I'm saying?
so another thing I wanted to touch on too, right? Going back to those civilizations, right? And let's talk about different countries. So I think, from my understanding, there was three civilizations, like let's say the Middle East, South America, and then on the other side, going towards like China or some shit. I don't know, right? But within those three civilizations, how do they all come up with the same type of rituals and the same type of understanding when it comes to like afterlife and the stars and constellations? All the same.
Well, when it comes to the stars and constellations thing, one thing you didn't have back then was the light pollution that we have now. So the skies looked completely different
Hmm.
than they do now. So I think, when it comes to the astronomy side of things, that can be explained just because of what they saw in the sky. Like you had to make sense of it somehow, some way. The fact
True.
of like, what's the one tribe? Oh man, it's a tribe that had found the star Sirius. Oh damn.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. I was just watching that, bro.
yeah.
Literally when before you hopped in, I was just watching that. So they're saying the star Sirius and every single religion, every religion says that that is where the aliens came from. And it's not the brightest star, it's not the biggest star, but they're saying that is a star where the aliens came, right? Or the angels came and gifted humanity with the gift of knowledge. Every religion says that.
Well, not necessarily every religion, but
I'm telling you right now, it's like if you even in Christianity, even in Judaism, if you look in Islam, you look at like other religions, other beliefs, they all pinpoint on that star Sirius.
Sirius is
Google it.
not mentioned one time in the Bible.
Not by that name. No. Not by that name. That goes back to the point. Remember when I told you when you remove a name, what does it do? Not by that name. Research department. Here we go. We're about to have our first fucking debate. Watch this.
Yeah, let's look into this. Because I know, the Northern Star, they talk about the Northern Star in the Bible, following the Northern Star. That the brightest star in the sky type deal. And that's believed to be a spaceship that guided, I think it was Moses through the desert. So it guided somebody through the three kings, guided the three kings through the desert. Yeah, that's your whole serious argument here. I don't know how accurate that one is, my man.
Mm-hmm. No. Here we go. The star of Bethlehem, the three kings, Sirius, and Orion. They're all mentioned. Look at that. Mm-hmm.
So Sirius right in the middle of Orion's belt.
Yeah, they're next to each other. Oh, so I think it's Sirius and Osiris, right? So I think Orion, that's where they got it from. They're right next to each other. Man, I know I wasn't bugging. What a name too, Sirius, right? Oh, I'm bugging, huh? So Egyptian mythology appears the source of mystical, not historical motif found. Also, the New Testament gospel story with the star in the east, signifying the star Sirius and the three wise men.
Okay, all right.
Come on, bro. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Three wise men, right? Traveling. Where are they traveling from? What are they delivering? Gifts, right? Isn't that what the three wise men were doing? Delivering gifts. What can these gifts be? What can these gifts be? These gifts can be knowledge. These gifts can be tools. These gifts can be powers. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. You think I'm man? I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I told you it's in the Bible. I was like, bro, it's in every single fucking religion. It's in every religion. Every religion talks about it, right? And they all talk about that star having some type of significant meaning, even in the Bible. One of the greatest stories, right? The three wise men, and they called me a conspiracy theorist. I don't know, man. Listen, it's there. It's in your face.
Yeah, man. It's just I don't know, man. It's just like, again, I keep saying this. I'm gonna say it, again and again. There's so much that is hidden. So much information has been lost. So much information has been deliberately kept from us. And it's all to control. It's all to control us.
I agree. The biggest thing about this, though, I know it's a lot of like negative and poking holes, but one thing I can say, and I would recommend our viewers to do, is take time to like spiritually look inside yourself. It's never evil for you to meditate and to think about what's beyond what we're being told. I'm not saying question your faith, but like you can be very, very spiritual and never pick up a Bible a day in your life.
Facts. And you know what? Like the power of prayer is real.
It is real.
I really do believe that. But that's also, what is prayer? Prayer is another form of meditation.
It is.
So that's
to put your hands together like in a certain way, right? It talks about that too, like how to pray, how to put your hands. What are you doing when you pray, right? You're connecting with the universe. You're connecting with the energies and the frequencies. I'm gonna also say this too. When I used to go to church, or when I've went to church in the past, leaving there, I do feel good.
Hell yeah. When you're there, it's the Holy Spirit is real. You can feel it in the room.
You can feel it. Yes.
I've been in church and gotten goosebumps on several occasions off of something that was said, off of a song that was sung, off of just the energy in the room.
Yes.
It's like electrifying, especially in Black church. Black church is lit.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen,
I've never gotten that feeling going to Catholic church. Not once.
No. Falling asleep. Yeah. Falling asleep. I'm sorry. I'm being real. Bro, stop. Stop.
Damn, that shit is.
Listen.
Fuck.
I will say this though.
Awake for this shit. My knees hurt. Tired of being on my knees with this goddamn thing.
Oh my gosh, bro. All I know is that we would be fucking hypocritical if we didn't come in here and talk about like what you do feel after you go to church, and you can't dispute that. You can't dispute that you feel good, like you naturally feel at peace, right?
I have given my my great grandmother, who is by far the most devout Christian, I've ever met. Like, this woman is real, like real life. Like, she is the church mother. Like, she that stereotypical church lady that you think about
Mm-hmm.
that make the good mac and cheese. That's
Mm-hmm.
my great, you know what I'm saying? That's my great grandmother. And I had said time and time again that the success and positive energy and good fortune that I've had throughout my life, I really believe it's because she would pray for me every single day, you know,
Mm.
every single day. So I believe that, that had some type of influence over me making out of some really, really sticky situations,
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
I believe, man, I do believe in the power of prayer to an extent, and that's not necessarily, saying, my whole religion thing, but it's just like it's speaking something into existence has a lot of
Facts.
power.
It does. And then putting some hard work behind it, but it definitely does. To as much as you can do, right? Working towards something as much as you can do, waking up every day and saying something as much as you can do. It definitely does. That's another thing too. They also say, they're now doing a study where they're using sound to levitate objects. And now they're also saying that, we all know that sound takes shape. So if sound can take shape, what does that do to us, right? And our makeup, right?
The
It's
words that
interesting.
you say.
That's right.
Oh,
I know you made a joke last week about, during our trans episode, he was like, words are literal violence. If you really think about it, though, now that we're talking about this shit too, the same way you can curse someone, right, or put a spell on somebody, like spelling, putting certain words together and having them having a nasty connotation, right? You ever like say certain things and it just sounds nasty. It
yeah.
sounds, yeah,
Yeah, it sounds
all that,
bad. Like, damn, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that like that.
right? You
It
see,
sounds a
and
lot worse than what it's supposed to.
all that shit's connected. All that shit is connected. But I agree, man. Praying and speaking out your prayers. And I know people say no one's supposed to know what you're praying for, but speaking it and in private and talking about it in private, definitely. And meditating also plays a tremendous role with that. And while you're meditating, you could be talking to God. You could be that, I believe, is where you'll truly get the most balanced and clear thought of hearing someone else talk to you without you thinking you're crazy. And I'm being real.
Or without you doing no drugs.
Or drugs, right? Because drugs. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what Nino said the other day. I swear to God, I couldn't make this up. Right? I'm in the house, and he calls. I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "No, I just want to talk to you." I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Why are drugs illegal?" I was like, "Because
It's a great question, my man.
He was like, "Why are drugs illegal?" And I was like, well, some people feel like some drugs are really bad for you. He goes, "But why are they illegal?" And I was like, because that's just the law. Some drugs are illegal. And he was like, drugs have the power to bring you to the other dimension, other
What
world.
the fuck is he been watching?
Bro, I don't know. I don't fucking know, bro. When he said that shit, I paused. I looked at the phone like, damn, this nigga really is my son.
Who the fuck have you been talking to? What have
I
you been?
don't,
What?
bro,
What?
I don't know, bro. But I was like, you're not wrong. I told him, you're not wrong. But let me tell you one thing about him. And I mean this, and I am sharing this with the world. When he was a kid, he used to tell me certain things. Like, he's like, before I was born, I remember being in space. So he tells me, bro. And he was like, and I remember picking on my teachers. And I was like, okay, bro, sounds cliche. And he kept swearing. His teacher he has now, he's like, I'm telling you, I seen her before I was born. He's like, and I know my next one. He's like, my next teacher is gonna be a blonde woman, right? He gave me feature descriptions, and he was like, all right, we'll see. My next teacher is that. He said, I'm also gonna have a black woman. And I was like, bro, come on, dogs. Like, you're reaching. It's like if you go based off the odds alone, it makes sense. But he was like, I'm telling you right now, he called me dada. Dada, I'm telling you right now, I'm not lying. His brother was calling him out. Nico was like, that's impossible. There's no way There's no way. Stop lying. He's like, I'm not lying. He got mad, bro. I was like, okay. So it's not unusual for him to tell me shit like this. And we talk about God a lot, right? Because I don't want to put too much on them. And they pray to God, right? But I also talk to them about clearing their minds. I talk to them about meditating. But when he started talking about this other world shit, I was like, at first I was like, where did he hear that shit from? But he's like, nah, I'm telling you right now, I didn't hear from anybody. I'm just letting you know, like, drugs connect you to the other world. And I was like, when you get older, we will talk about this more in depth. Okay. And he said, yeah.
I'm waiting for the day that Eva comes home and wants to have a real conversation about religion. Like right now, my baby, she a little Jesus freak. Like she love her some God, she love us some Jesus, she love us some Mary, through Catholic school. But I'm waiting for the day where she feels like it's gonna be like, when she finally finds out that Santa Claus don't exist. You know,
Damn.
like I'm still waiting on that day too. Like I'm waiting for these different little realities to settle in, and her to be like, wait a minute, because I think when she find out the Santa ain't real, she gonna have some motherfucking questions. Like,
Oh
okay,
my
well, what
God.
about the tooth fairy? Like, what about that? Because I remember the one year I got $20, and then the next year I got $1. Like, what happened to the budget? She blew it all on teeth. Like, I'm waiting for these different milestones. What about the Easter Bunny? What about the leprechaun that comes on St. Patrick's Day? Like, we go all out for all of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, bro. She be like, my whole life is a lie.
It's a
And
fucking lie.
that is reality, right? Our
And
whole life is a lie. We're
it's
like
gonna
kids.
it's gonna be like the wizard, man, for the Wizard of
Yeah.
Oz, like the great wizard. Like, look, here's behind curtain number one. God damn it.
Bro, this if you really think about it, we are the kids. We are the kids in this situation, and the powers that be know it all. We are the fucking kids, bro. Let's keep it a stat. We're the kids. And when it does finally come out, we're gonna be like, damn, our whole life, our whole everything, our whole existence is a fucking lie.
I can't wait to see what's after this, man. I can't wait to see. My big thing is that I think I've said it on the show before. I am not afraid of death. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just not ready to go.
Yeah. I'm actually
I
excited.
I have not fulfilled my purpose here. I have not accomplished what my soul was supposed to accomplish on this trip, but I'm not afraid of what's on the other side. I'm actually like I'm kind of excited,
Yeah, I'm anxious.
because I want
Not
to. I
too
can't.
anxious.
No, you're not too anxious, but it's just like
Yeah.
when I get there, I know it's gonna be like I fucking knew it. I
Right.
knew it. I fucking knew it. And I want to
Yeah.
be a superhero on a different planet or some shit.
Who knows? Yo, okay. Speaking of planets too, this episode is really about the stars and energy and everything else too. Or looking in, especially if you look at the artwork, looking in, right,
What
to
if
find your
God
heaven.
was one of us?
Oh my God! Don't say the next part, bro.
Just a slob like one of us. Just
Bro,
a stranger on a bus
are you
trying to
done?
make his way
Are you done?
home.
Anyway, listen, this whole episode is like looking within. If you look at the artwork, it has a huge symbolic. This thumbnail has a huge symbolicness to it. Looking inward, right? Looking inward. If you want to talk about planets, right, and life on other planets, this planet is 4.3 billion years old. That is a fact, right? That's a fact. They received, I forgot what year it was, but they received a signal, like a distress signal, 5 billion light years away. That means that it was sent, right? It was sent 5 billion years ago, but 700 years before the planet was even created, that distress signal went out. Do you understand what that
What?
is? Look, bro, look this shit up. Look this shit up. It's confirmed. They received a signal, like a distress signal, like a signal in space from space, right? That was 5 billion years old. The planet is 4.3 billion years old. That means before the planet was created, bro, this distress signal went out. That means it went out, then 700 years later, or 700 million years later, the planet was created. Let that shit sink in.
Damn.
Look it up.
I'm looking it up now.
Yes. Yes. You come on. If anyone that thinks there's no life outside of this planet, you have a complex. Like you have like a God complex. How conveniently to quote it that way, but there's no way. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that there's not life on other planets.
But it's also because religion told us that, we were created by God, and it's one true creation. They don't talk about these other civilizations. They don't even mention dinosaurs in the Bible. Ain't that some shit?
Oh, they kind of do. They talk about like creatures that roam before. They talk about shit like that. But it's not as in depth. They do briefly, very briefly. They go over it, but it's interesting. Interesting. It's like, 5 billion years ago, bro. Let me find it for you.
I got it.
Research department.
Yeah, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Scientists in Australia have discovered a galaxy as far as 5 billion light years away by using a new high-tech radio telescope, have detected a weak signal emitted prior to the birth of the solar system.
Look at that. Well, listen, I know we talked and we rambled, we bounced all over the place. This is one of those episodes where it's not as easy. And there's so many questions, right? We just want you guys to think. So many questions. We're not poking anybody's religion, anyone's faith. We just say, do your research, look inside,
And
that's all
also,
that's what we're
like,
saying.
I know we bounced all over the place, but you got to think of this shit as like a crack in a glass. It's like it splinters off, and then it's like a train of thought that goes over here, and then what about this? It's just this conversation is so deep. It's such a huge web that that's why we branched off so much on this one. So I apologize if it seemed like we was just a shotgun blast and it was just bullets
All over the
all over the
place.
place.
Yeah.
But again, this was just this is one of those conversations, man. It's just deep, and again, like he said, man, you do your own research. Don't be so set on, one word or one way of thinking, because when you put yourself in a box, you stay in that box. I use this analogy. I don't know, was it last week I used this analogy? What Steve Harvey said about the flea.
Yes.
That's the way, like, hearing that analogy has really like opened up my train of thought to think like, when you allow yourself to take in new information, you can jump higher than you've ever jumped. Oh, that shit was inspirational. God damn, put that shit on a poster.
Preach. Preach. It's facts, bro. And that's why they also say that knowledge is power, right? But and I always say this, it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost, because now it comes at a cost of your faith. It comes at a cost of other things. You may have to kill to get this knowledge. I'm just telling you. You know how they find certain things and they have to kill it to get its skeleton, to figure out how it works. That's just the price, right? That's another
the
thing
nature
too.
of the beast, man. The nature of the beast. But this was said how you feel. Hopefully y'all come after us with these burning crosses and no shit for this, no pitchforks. But if you do, I got rounds, I got ammo. Regardless of the fact, this is Say How You Feel. I'm Mo.
I'm Say.
We love you. Thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all next week. Peace. Just a stranger on a bus trying to make his way home.